Um, I'm very happy to speak on this topic because this topic has very much significance in the prevailing scenario. Sports management, as Mr. Sarab rightly pointed out, it is a neglected area, and of course, a huge amount of money is being spent on this particular area, sports. You all know very well. I'm not going to teach you how sports management, how sports works, and how sports management is there in the country. But I'm going to explain what are the opportunities are available for the students for taking this as a career, because we all know sports. Sports is a very significant one, and of course, it is a fifth economic revenue generator in the world. But even though sports is not considered as a recognized industry in India, it is a 1 lakh crore market industry actually. Um, Plenty of money is being invested on sports infrastructure everywhere, both by the government and the private sector, and the perception towards sports has greatly changed. The perception of parents towards sports has changed, and the league matches, the league tournaments have changed the whole entire scenario of sports. But how is sports perceived today? Actually, it is perceived as a physical activity by sports persons and people who are dealing with sports. Actually, we all know that sports is nothing but a physical activity governed by certain rules and regulations. But we consider this as a product or business. We means sports management professionals and business people or management graduate consider sports as a business. Because as I already told you, in India, almost 1 lakh crore rupees are being generated through sporting activities. And of course, JP Construction, it has invested 4,200 crores for developing a Formula One circuit where only one event takes place in a year. And of course, the governments, either state governments or central government, are spending huge amount of money for developing infrastructure, sports infrastructures on par with international standards, and the huge as the other Mr. Saraf rightly pointed out, in India also the importance for sports uh, is increasing. The importance which is given for sports is increasing. But the third important thing is we consider sports as a profession. Okay, and sports industry, as I already told you, it is an important revenue generator in the world economy, and because of increase in viewership due to television coverage, uh, and of course sports industry has grown manifold. Each and every event, wherever it is conducted, whether it is conducted in India or in other country, we are able to watch it through television channels, satellite channels. So the the reach of growth has improved a lot, and in addition to the products, sports products, when we talk about sports products, there are more than 1,000 sports products in the world. And if you are asked to list out sports products, we cannot list more than 100 products. It would be very difficult to list more than 100 products. But there are about more than 100 sports products and services are there in the world for different sports. And there are plenty of services are there, including software services. Plenty of services are there related to sports. And in India, there are about more than 300 100% export oriented units are there for sports products. Whatever they produce, they as such export the products to the other countries. And in the northern states like Punjab, Haryana, the total turnover of sports products manufacturing is about 20,000 crores. It is estimated to be 20,000 crores rupees in at that particular part of state. And worldwide also, it has been considered as a revenue model. During the year 2008, Beijing Olympics was conducted by China, and it could conduct that particular event in a successful manner and shown the world that it could do anything. It could do anything in a better way, and the total cost was estimated to be 1.6 lakh crore rupees in Indian money value, and the total revenue they generated was 2 lakh crores, and they could earn 40,000 crores as a profit. Not only they got name and fame, but also they got what profit also. If that money is deposited in the bank and using the interest, the infrastructure made by China could be effectively managed or maintained. So this kind of model is there worldwide, and the value of sports industry in the US is estimated to be 213 billion American dollar, and the same in the UK is about 20 billion sterling pounds, and it is the sixth largest industry in the US. The value of sports industry in the world is around 600 billion American dollar. In India, as I already told you, it is estimated to be 1 lakh crore industry. It is a 1 lakh crore industry, but this industry has not been considered as a recognized industry. So like cinema industry, right? So huge amount of money is being generated from that industry, but it is not a recognized industry. So sports is also not a recognized industry. Um, then sports products. So we talk about sports product. We consider sports itself as a product. No, it is considered as a service. No, it is an intangible product. We consider it as an intangible product. And one of the very important feature of a sports product is simultaneous production and consumption. As and when it is produced, it is consumed by the spectators. And there are two types of spectators again. No, one is called as highly fans. Otherwise, we can call them as fans. One are called as highly involved fans. Then the other thing is the other people are called as low involved people. Highly involved fans are those people who dedicate themselves for sport. For example, they would spend their money, energy, time for sport. They are otherwise called as spectators. Suppose if a match is conducted in a particular a cricket match is conducted in a particular venue, they would spend their time, energy, money for being as a spectator there, and they would be there and witness the match. Whereas the other kind of people are called as low involved people. We are all low involved fans. So we would spend time provided we have time, right? So as and when, this is one of the very important feature, as and when it is produced, as and when it is being played, it is directly consumed by us, either through any one of the available media, either by radio or television or mobile phone or internet. This is one of the very significant features. Then the next important thing, inconsistency and unpredictability. Okay, so inconsistency is nothing but there will be no inconsistency in any sport, and the predictability of results. We cannot predict the results of any game, right? So these two factors make us or make any sports to be attractive one, right? We cannot say the same team will be winning always. A team maybe consists of the same players, the same venue. The venue may be same. The opposite team also may be same, but we cannot expect the same result. Okay, we cannot expect the consistency of a player. So this is also one of the important things that makes sports as a thrilled product, right? So suppose if we take a film, we know what will happen in the end, So whereas sports is not so. So these are the three important, and of course star power is there, memories are there, and venues are there. So these are some of the other important things that would make sports as a very important thing. Now then what are the core benefits of sports, or how a sports product is different from other products? So the first one is it gives us entertainment. Whether we are a player or we are a spectators or we are a fan, it gives us entertainment. And then a kind of achievement. So here achievement means it is not only that achieving gold medal or um, any medal in any game, any tournament or any kind of thing. Participation itself is a kind of achievement. Suppose, assume that there are 60 students in a particular class, only 12 or 15 students can be in a particular team. So they are representing all the 60. So it is a kind of achievement for them. So I assume that I am a student is representing Kerala University, whereas 20,000 students are there. So he is representing 20 students. It's a kind of achievement. But we have one of the important things that we should develop is we have to appreciate the participation of sports participation by students or any person. So, but what we do here in our country or in our state, we honor only those, or we recognize only those who got medals. But it's a kind of achievement. Suppose if a person is representing a particular state, particular district, so consisting of 50 lakh people, he is representing 50 lakh people. Suppose he is representing a state, he is representing 5 crore people. So if he is representing India, 130, he is representing 130 crore of people. So that is how we have to consider. So achievement is not that they have to achieve the medals or something like that. So then the next important thing, sociability. I'm sure sociability or social network or the persons who are associated with sports has got an opportunity to be with people, different kinds of people, different coaches, different of course players from different walks of life, and he or she can have an opportunity to meet different teams or different places. So this kind of things are there. Then above all, sports gives us health. One of the very important thing, this is one of the very important driving force that make every one of us as a parent, make our students to be make our children to be physically fit enough. So our ultimate aim in the prevailing scenario, even during the pandemic situation, we want to be physically fit enough, right? So when we are a sports person, we will be physically fit enough. I'm sure the physical fitness or physical prowess, ability will definitely improve, and it should improve. Okay, so unless otherwise our students or our children are physically fit enough, they are not healthy. We cannot develop a healthy nation. So it should origin from the lower level itself. It should be from the childhood level. So these are the 4 important benefits which we can derive from sports. Then the next thing, sports as a product. If we consider sports as a product, we consider sports as a product. But if we consider game as a product, then cricket, football are brands. Not only cricket, football, tennis, kabaddi. In India, cricket, football, kabaddi. So the maximum viewerships are there for IPL, then ISL, and then Pro Kabaddi. So I'm not only talking about this game alone. Then volleyball is there. So each and every game is considered as a brand, right? So then, if we consider a player as a product, then Dhoni is a brand. He has got some value. Virat Kohli has got a value, right? He is a brand. The Messi is a brand. Like several players are there. So the value of these players will be based on their consistency, their achievement. Okay. So I'm sure as of now, Virat Kohli is having more value. Virat Kohli is a more valuable brand of sports in India. Okay, so then if we consider even as a product, then Olympic is a brand. World Cup football, Asia, World Cup, cricket. So these are all brands. Then league matches. So if we consider league as a product, then there are different brands, right? IPL, ISL, Pro Kabaddi, IVL. IVL, last IVL Of course, it was successfully conducted, and the final match in Madras, I think Chennai team won. That's the final was between Chennai and Cochin. Chennai won the match. So, these are all different brands, right? So I'm not only talking about local level brands. So we can even take a global level, right? So these are different sports products and different brands are there. Then sports management. So this definition is given by Pitts and Stotler. Sports management refers to all people, activities, businesses, and organizations involved in producing, facilitating, promoting, or organizing any product that is related to either fitness, or sport, or recreation. Okay, so this is what one of the very important definitions. So it's a broad domain. Sports management is not stick to only sport, but it also deals with fitness and all recreation related things. So it is a very broad domain, and wherein we can find plenty of opportunities. Then sports industry consists of some of the very important things. First one is manufacturing of products, sports products. As I already told you, there are any number of products, 1,000 products. I got a list of more than 1,000 products, which normally we would give to the students to learn those products. Okay, manufacturing of sports products, and of course retailing is there, and sports medicines are there. It's a separate domain. And venues and infrastructure, as I already told you, there are plenty of investment happening in venues and infrastructure, both by governments and private parties. Almost all the educational institutions are nowadays spend a huge amount of money in creating basic infrastructure on par with standard norms. Because almost all the parents nowadays looking at whether a particular school or college has got sports facilities. Then even builders, real estate owners, while they are constructing plants or gated communities, they make sure that there are sports infrastructure. Okay, not only educational institutions and real estate, almost all the federations. So all the federations, especially when you talk about cricket federation, almost all the federations, they got their own state-of-the-art facilities. In fact, our university, I'm very happy to share this information to Mr. Saraf and Mr. Sudhir Sarma, that we have a Pakka state-of-the-art velodrome facility. And of course, there are about 40 to 15 students are practicing there, cycling there. Okay, so we have facilities. So almost, of course, the total investment for that particular facility was about 4.5 crores. So we are creating facilities. Huge amount of money is being invested both by government and others. I told you one example. JP Construction, they have invested 4,200 crores investment. So it is a mega facility. They have laid down the track for about 6.4 kilometers. So on par with international standard, and only once the Formula One race is conducted there. So such a kind of importance is being given for sports infrastructure. And of course, the students can find plenty of opportunities in this area also. And then media and hospitality, very well about sports tourism and media. Of course, there are several satellite channels exclusively for sports and sports related things. And magazines are there. Sports Star, which is one of the leading magazine, sports magazine. And of course, ESPN, Star Sports, all those things are there. Hospitality, whenever a match is conducted. And of course, the Beijing, Rio, during the Rio Olympics, there were about 40,000 40,000 officials were there, including volunteers. So we have to give them hospitality, right? So I know in Alleppey, whenever they conduct that boating race, Many foreigners would come from different parts of the world to witness that event. So sports tourism is there. Merchandising, this is another very important thing. Decathlon, I can say Decathlon as one of the best example for this. Is a is a Europe-based merchandising company. It has established several retail units across the country, and it is doing very well. So plenty of opportunities there for these things. And again, I would like to give you the classification of sports goods. There are three important classifications. One is sports equipment, then sports materials, and sports accessories and services. Sports equipments are those things which are durable in nature, which we don't require very frequently. Okay, say for example, measurement equipments or PA system or any kind of permanently fitted equipment. Normally, the value of those equipments would be very high also. But sports materials are those materials which we are in need of our day-to-day life. Say for example, volleyball, which we cannot use for more than a week, or a cricket ball, we can use only for a particular session, right? So we cannot use for the second session. And bail, stump, and all those things, plenty of materials are there. So normally the value of this material would be very, very less comparing equipments, and at the same time very frequently required items. These items will be required very frequently. And sports accessories and services, and almost all the software services are there. And of course, some of the sports accessories which we are in need. It is not a compulsory one. Say for example, knee cap, which a volleyball player wears to prevent any injury. It is not a compulsory one. It is not a if he wears, he could prevent injury. And the headrest and the wristband, all those things, and plenty of things are coming under this also. So sports marketing has become a very, very important area of study in the prevailing scenario. Then who are the stakeholders? Who are the stakeholders of sports? Who are the consumers? I can say who are the consumers of sports? One, government. They invest a huge amount of money in sports, and for developing rural sports. Okay, and they invest on equipment, they invest on products, goods, of course, materials. They invest on infrastructure, and thereby they become a customer. And sports administrators at the national level, national federation, and at the state level, state association, and at the district level association, they spend huge amount of money. And of course, in Tamil Nadu Chepa Cricket Stadium is owned by the State Cricket Association. And of course, I'm sure that Trivandrum ground is also owned by Tamil Nadu, of course, the Kerala Cricket Association. I'm sure. So they also buy or invest huge amount of money for developing their respective sports. And then coaches and trainers, they are one of the very important stakeholders, because they are the backbone of any sports or sports development. And then players, of course. Once upon a time, even if a person even if a child plays very well, the parent, they would normally hesitant to send their children to play. But nowadays the scenario has changed. Okay, now we parents send our children for academies and other things, and spectators, and of course we are all spectators or viewers or general public. They are the stakeholders. Then sponsors and corporates. Almost all the corporates would be very interested in joining with the sports teams or sports tournaments, because they want to gain image. They want to gain popularity. So huge amount of money is being received through sponsorship, right? And sports endorsement is there, right? sports endorsement. One of the important definition for sports marketing is marketing of any product or services through the use of sports. Very simple. Marketing, all the students know marketing. But what is sports marketing? Very simple. Using sports, if you are marketing your product, then that is called a sport. So celebrity endorsements are there. Sports sponsorship are there. So these are some of the areas wherein we can concentrate. And sports goods manufacturers, yeah, they are one of the important stakeholders of sports. And media, yes, that is a part and parcel of sports development in any economy. And educational institution, as I already told you, they are one of the very important stakeholder of developing sport, especially a state like Kerala and Tamil Nadu. We give we give very much significance for sports and sports development. And almost all the sports, whether almost all the schools, whether it is a government school or private school, all the schools will have some basic facilities, sports facilities and sports goods. So I'm sure. So the same thing should be should be there in all the across the country for development of sport. And then above all, parents. If parents do not allow their children for sports, we cannot develop sports. Okay, so, and I'm sure the attitudes of parents have slowly changed towards sport. I could see, I'm from Chennai, I am now in Nagarkoil, so I could see plenty of parents, parents in general in cities or town, they push their children towards sports nowadays. They want their children to be physically fit enough, right? So end of the day, if physical fitness is not there, and as I already told you, we cannot develop a healthy society or healthy nation. So these are the important stakeholders. I can say these are all consumers of sport. One way or other, we are all consuming sports. So we are sports consumers. So as a parent, I'm spending money for my children's sports. So I'm spending money for academy, sports academy. I'm spending money for getting them sports equipment. So one way or other, we are all sports persons. Somehow, we in fact, my parents, my father would be very much interested in watching, football match, whereas my mother would be very much interested in watching cricket matches. She know each and every concept of cricket. So this is how we become consumers of sport. And of course, we consume sports through any one of the media available. We pay for data, or we pay for channels. Okay, so we are consumers. Then I think the time which is allotted to me is only 30 minutes. I think I'm exceeding the time. So shall I?
You can take another 5 or 10 minutes to conclude.
Okay, sir. So thank you, sir. So the role of sports governing bodies. So what the sports at the international level are governed by actually sports governance are at 3 levels. At the international level, in International Olympic Committee is there, and below International Olympic Committee there are several international federations. They are all independent bodies. So that is what we have to keep in our mind. They are all very, very independent bodies. International federations are therefore governing each and every sport separately. Say for example, FIFA for football, ICC for cricket. So these are some of the examples. And at the national level, so they are the people who are enacting the rules and regulations for each and every game that we are supposed to follow at national level. At national level, in India, as far as India is concerned, Indian Olympic Association are there, and under which there are several national federations are there. They are governing respective sports in a particular country. In our particular country. And what are the role of sports governing? It's not that they have to develop the rural sports. Their important, significant role is to identify the best players. But identifying the best players is what the problem here, right? Whether are we identifying the best players? The players which are selected for our team are the best one? Is the question mark is there? Okay, we need not get into that. So, but it is the responsibility and duty of the particular governing body, that is the federation, to select the best player available in the country. Then second thing, forming the team. Okay, forming the team. The third thing is training them. No, we have to train them. We have to train. That is one of the very important thing that we need to do. Actually, China model is entirely different from our model. In China, the coach is given full freedom. He is responsible of the particular team. Whereas in India, the thing is entirely different. Okay, then participation opportunity. So unless otherwise, the federations do not make any opportunities for the players to participate. They cannot exhibit their talents. They can train, but unless otherwise they don't conduct any tournament, and the players cannot exhibit their talent, and of course we cannot identify the best players. So this is what one of the important thing, and it should be clearly informed to all the stakeholders, all the prospects, and organizing tournaments and events. Then very importantly, we have to take care of course, we have to take care of infrastructural development and leagues. Okay, leagues, almost all the leagues. And of course, I would like to tell you one important thing. 2 years back, IVL was started, Indian Volleyball League. It was conducted in an excellent manner. It went up very well, but unfortunately, we could not conduct last year, this year also. And hockey, I'm not talking about the familiar ones, IPL, ISL, Pro Kabaddi, they are doing good. But hockey, Indian Hockey League, it was conducted in an excellent manner. It went up very well. But unfortunately, because of difference of opinion in the federation, they could not continue. So this kind of things are there, of course. For a period of time, this should avoid. Then what is the role of government? A federation cannot go into the root level. So if it goes that root level, I'm sure they cannot fulfill its objectives. So the role of government, the grassroots level sports, especially at the school level. So for that, they have to give more importance, and of course the governments are giving importance, and they are enacting appropriate sports bills and policies. And I would suggest that whether the sports bills and policies are implemented as such in the curriculum, and whether the curriculum is as such followed by the particular school. And what I would suggest is it should be implemented at the school level itself, because in the Western or American system, they identify the players at the age of 8 years. 8 years. Whereas we identify at the age of 18 years. It's very pathetic, very pathetic. So just imagine, they have been giving training for children from their 8 years of age. So specific sports, diet, sports specific diets are given. And suppose if a person is for volleyball, then related games will be given to taught to give volleyball. In addition to volleyball, that a particular player will be asked to play basketball also. The particular player will be asked to go for running events. Okay, such a kind of curriculum are there. But unfortunately, we are. I don't know whether we are having that curriculum or not. Then another very important thing, this is one of the very important points that we must keep in our mind. You know, in UK, they identify the prospects for the Olympic events at least 10 years before. So please keep in our mind, at least 10 years before, and then they start giving training. Whereas in India, a country like developing countries, we identify the talents just 3 months before. And even during the 3 months, there will be lots of changes, and there will be visa processes. You know, a very good player may not get a visa. So see, imagine 10 years. They are planning for 10 years, and we are planning for 3 months. So this is where we are different. Though the business is good, business model is good. Why we are not able to achieve? These are some of the important things which I would like to tell you. I'd like to give you one important thing. We got an opportunity of conducting Commonwealth Games during the year 2010. Unfortunately, we miserably failed in conducting that thing because of several problems. Whereas when London Olympics was conducted, that assignment was given to a former Olympian. He was a sprinter. You know what he did? He conducted a press. He invited the press people just 1 year before the conduct of the tournament, and he conducted the press meeting, and he declared the world that we are ready to conduct the Olympic event next year the same day, and he took all of them to all the facilities they created. Whereas, so this is where we are we are different. So some of the very important thing. I mean, these are some of the important things for which we have to give importance. So I told you the China model. No, they could earn profit of 40,000 crores. Whereas for conducting our Commonwealth Games, the total expenditure was estimated to be 8,000 crores, it seemed, but it went up 16,000 crores, something like that. And because of scarcity of money, we had to divert the fund which was allotted for SCST funds to the event. So this is where we are different. So these are some of the governance problems that we have to overcome. And of course, I'm sure now the things are going good, and I'm sure we'll be able to overcome all these things. And as such, I'm sure the students who are interested in this particular area can definitely choose this area. Our students, we offer MBA program with a specialization in sports management. Our students who have graduated from our university are very well placed, and of course, a very remunerative jobs also are there.